this truck and this camper on an epic 1,300-mile road trip from Thunder Bay, Ontario to Annapolis, Maryland for the Sailboat Show. And when I say epic, I mean explore, patch, improvise, and continue. Let's go. We're Murray, Heather, Eve, and Pearl Ginnick. We're a Canadian family of four, always chasing the next adventure. In 2022, we bought a 48-foot project sailboat and quickly realized it needed way more work than we expected. Our goal? Splash by 2026, but like any good plan, that's written in pencil. Follow along as we turn this giant hunk of fiberglass into a floating home with hopes of one day sailing around the world. We share the highs, the setbacks, the roadside detours, and everything that makes up the go. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode of Ginnick's on the Go. I'll get some of this stuff organized once I'm on the road.
There she goes. What's your backpack, camper?
Well, it is that time. I am leaving Thunder Bay, heading out to Annapolis. I just left Colin's house because Colin made me a tool care package so that I was prepared for my long drive down to Annapolis. It'll take me about 20 and a half hours if I don't stop, which is impossible. So it's probably 2 good days worth of driving. I expect to be stopped about 9 o'clock tonight. And I don't know where I'm going to get to. Alrighty. I just got my terrible Robin's coffee. Actually, it's probably pretty good. I haven't tried it. But I'm now officially leaving Thunder Bay and heading towards Annapolis. So, oh shit, I need to get my GoPro out. I forgot about that. So that I can take you guys along with me and show you how beautiful the drive is from here to Sault Ste. Marie.
Little did she know, this trip would not go as smoothly as planned.
And then I've never been across the border there, so that'll be interesting. This trip nearly didn't happen this year. Our original plan was to take the RV down, but that idea got kiboshed pretty quickly when we couldn't get a safety certificate in time and realized there was nowhere to park an RV anywhere near Annapolis. So plan B, fly down and stay in a hotel. Except when I started crunching the numbers, the costs had jumped so much that it would have been about the same as my first 2 years of attending combined. But I wanted to go so badly. Why? Because for me, Annapolis isn't just about the pretty boats or the fancy jewelry for your boat. It's about the people. It's the connections you make with others who come back year after year, creators, cruisers, dreamers, all sharing the same crazy idea of life on the water. And honestly, it's also a break. A rare few days where I'm not on call 24/7, juggling projects, weather windows, or construction deadlines. So I improvised. Drive the truck, strap on the little pop-up camper, and make the 1,300-mile trip to Annapolis, where I'd be staying in an Airbnb with some of the biggest sailing YouTube channels out there. Because sometimes the best adventure starts when plan A and B both fall apart, and you just decide to go anyway. So I decided to take the short route, which in Northern Ontario terms still means a full day of driving. But there was a reason. I'd promised to pick up my friend Graham and his buddy Jonathan from the BWI airport on Wednesday morning at 5 a.m. So cutting through Sault Ste. Marie made the most sense. The route winds through some of my favorite stretches of Northern Ontario. It passes through White River, a small town famous as the birthplace of Winnie the Pooh. Back in 1914, a Canadian soldier bought a real bear cub from a trapper in White River and named her Winnie after his hometown of Winnipeg. That bear later became the inspiration for A.A. Milne's stories, proof that even the tiniest towns can have legendary tales. A little further down the road, I stopped at Catherine's Cove, a quiet, postcard-perfect stretch along Lake Superior's North Shore. It's one of those spots where the lake just seems endless, and no matter how many times I pass it, I always pull over. Because honestly, if you don't take time to stop and take it in, did you even drive the North Shore? From there, the road leads to Sault Ste. Marie International Bridge. The Sault Ste. Marie International Bridge is a real engineering icon, stretching almost 2 miles across the St. Mary's River, linking the twin cities of Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario and Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. It opened back in 1962 on Halloween, finally replacing the old ferry system that used to carry cars and people across the channel. Beneath it lies the Soo Locks, a series of massive chambers that lift and lower ships between Lake Superior and Lake Huron, managing a 21-foot difference in water level. On a clear day, you can see freighters lining up for miles waiting for their turn to pass through. It's one of those places where engineering, history, and sheer natural scale all come together, but from the driver's seat, there's no place to stop. Just a breathtaking few seconds as you roll over the bridge, suspended between two countries. It's crazy how you get to this side of the border and the leaves have not changed nearly as much as up in Canada. Crazy. With the border crossing out of the way and the Sault Ste. Marie International Bridge behind me, it was time for the next big milestone on the drive, the Mackinac Bridge. It's a toll bridge, one of the most iconic in the US, stretching nearly 5 miles across the Straits of Mackinac, where Lake Michigan meets Lake Huron, connecting Michigan's upper and lower peninsulas. The bridge opened in 1957, and at the time it was the longest suspension bridge in the world. Even today, it's still considered one of the engineering marvels of the Western Hemisphere. Its central span rises almost 200 feet above the water level, with steel towers anchored deep into the lake bed, and it took over 4 years to complete. Driving across it with a camper on the back is a little like straddling two worlds. The incredible views below, freighters, choppy lake waters, the horizon stretching endlessly, and the nervous awareness that you're suspended hundreds of feet above one of the Great Lakes. It's awe-inspiring and a little humbling, especially when the weather decides to join in. I made it as far as Saginaw, Michigan, just before 11 p.m. The day had been long, the bridges behind me, and the rain that had been falling off and on since the Canada-US border decided to really come down as I pulled in for the evening. I stopped at Walmart to pick up a few groceries for the road, and of course, in true road trip fashion, I forgot one of the bags at the cashier's. It was a small mistake, but it ended up delaying my departure the next morning. Thunder and lightning, because this is where I stopped for the night. I have a plan to go to Planet Fitness in the morning and work out and then shower, but I think it's gonna be a rough night because it's raining. I have a hard time falling asleep with this, and I'm wired and too tired to drive. And it's gonna suck if it's still raining in the morning, because then I have to put this tent down wet and drive with it like that. Not only that, I'll be probably wet, soaking wet, but at least I brought my raincoat because Eve reminded me, but I did forget my rain pants, my foulies. Oh well. It was an early morning, 5:20 a.m. to be exact, and the first thing I had to do was tackle the rain-soaked camper. I spent a few minutes drying off the windows and canvas before popping the top down and getting everything ready to roll. The whole point of that is that I don't want to put it away wet because then it can get my mattress wet. Next stop, Planet Fitness. Quick workout and a shower to wake up properly. Road trip mornings are way easier when you start them like this. Hit you. Phone calls in the morning. After that, it was back to Walmart to retrieve the bag of groceries I'd forgotten the night before. Thankfully, the staff was awesome and held the bag for me. A small win before getting back on the road. Alrighty, it's like 7:30 on October 7th, and I am leaving Saginaw and aiming to get to Baltimore by whatever time. It's supposed to be 9 hours and 10 minutes away. I highly doubt I'm gonna get there that fast, but anyways, it's taking me through Flint, Michigan, Detroit, Toledo, so that's kind of interesting. I'm actually interested in Flint, Michigan because of their water. And maybe I'll go into more when I get to Flint. So I made it to Flint, Michigan, the vehicle city capital or something like that. There's like a vehicle city landmark because GM opened its original facility here in like 1908. I believe that facility has been torn down, but I'm gonna go and see the vehicle city landmark. And just to celebrate their issues with their water, I thought I'd have a pumpkin spice latte at McDonald's. Yeah, they have Tim Hortons here, but Tim Hortons does not have their original recipe, so their coffee sucks. I decided to drive through Flint, Michigan, not just because it was on the way or because I drive a GMC, but because Flint has always stuck with me. In 2014, the city switched its water supply from Detroit's system to the Flint River to save money, but the water wasn't treated properly and it started corroding the city's old lead pipes. That meant lead and other contaminants were getting into the drinking water, the same water families were using every day to cook, clean, and bathe. Not long after the switch, people began noticing problems: rashes, hair loss, and brown, foul-smelling water. Even General Motors, which has deep roots here, noticed the water was corroding engine parts and ruining paint at its Flint engine plant. GM quickly arranged to switch back to clean Detroit water so their parts wouldn't be damaged, but the residents of Flint, they were told the water was safe and they kept getting the contaminated supply for months after GM got access to clean water. Driving through Flint today, you can still feel the contrast. Some areas are run down, abandoned houses, crumbling factories, empty streets, and then downtown looks like a completely different world. Polished, lively, even shining like it's etched in gold in spots. It's a hard story to drive past. A city that built cars for America, then got left behind, fighting to rebuild one block at a time. Flint is a reminder that resilience doesn't come easy, but it's there everywhere you look. Okay, I think I found the vehicle marker. I'm gonna get out, but vehicles are kind of crazy here. See, I think this is it. This guy with this sculpture, I think this is the vehicle city marker. With the rain unrelenting, it was time to get back on the road. I really wanted to swing through Detroit and take in some of the city, the architecture, the culture, a little history, but the drive was already taking longer than I'd planned. So I made the call to skip the extra stops and focus on the road ahead. The goal now was simple: make it to Baltimore at a reasonable hour, stay rested, and be ready for the next leg of the adventure. Sometimes road trips are about choices like this, prioritizing progress over sightseeing and learning to improvise while keeping your eyes on the bigger picture.
This wise choice would soon turn out to be one of the smartest moves Heather made during this drive, as in a few hours, she will find out exactly what happens when your camper roof develops a leak, while the rain continues to downpour and the wind gusts just add to the problem. But yes, keep smiling and keep your chin up, Heather. You're going to need it.
Pulling into a little rest area just before we get to Toledo, because I am pretty tired, so I'm probably going to use the bathroom and then have a little cat nap, or maybe go for a walk, something like that, something to wake me up. So I stopped for a little break in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And they've got a thing up on the, I guess it's like an information poster, up on their info center at the rest stop about the Mackinac Bridge. So it's pretty incredible. I'll post some of the details. I took a picture of the poster, but it's insane. It's the third largest bridge, I think. I can't remember if it's in the world. But, or maybe it's just the U.S., but it is, I think, the largest suspension bridge in the U.S., which is pretty crazy. It's bigger than the Golden Gate Bridge, and there was another one there, the Washington Bridge or something like that. Anyways, it trumps both of those.
Sometimes the waves, they keep on crashing in. Sometimes the rain, it never seems to end. I'll be alright, my friend, if you stay.
So we're just coming up the Willis Road, and there's a big sign back there. I didn't do the GoPro on in time, but it says prison area, do not pick up hitchhikers. So they must have a problem with people getting out of jail and then hitchhiking. I kind of want to see that.
You are my home away from home. Home away from home. Home away from home. Home away from home. Some days I wonder if the sun will shine. Some days I pray for just a ray of light. Come take my hand and tell me you'll
It just passed the Freedom Convoy truck. That was so awesome. It was blue, whatever. It looks like Big Red except blue. And he's got a big Freedom Convoy, U.S. and American flag on it. And yeah, that's awesome. I tried waving at him, but he didn't see me. But that's awesome. So if that was you in that truck, woohoo, way to go, man.
always run my way when I call. are my home away from home. Home away from home. Home away from home. Home away from home.
Just about there. Like, I think hour and a half, 2 hours left. Then I'll be there in Baltimore. Just stopping at Eisenhower Interstate System Rest Area. How busy this place is. Crazy, but look at the view. That's pretty nuts.
This was the moment. Heather found a big problem.
That is how I've got it wrapped down for now. It's strapped, well, it's wrapped with a rope. I couldn't get a strap on it. I'm gonna have to rebuild the bloody thing. Okay, while I drive, at that rest stop, I got out, and the roof it's been raining for over 24 hours, and I'm gonna guess the roof has some leak or something in this thing, because the part by the driver's side lifted up, tore away. Tape is not going to fix this. I have a rope on it right now. I'm going to limp it to a Home Depot 15 minutes from here. And I don't know, I'm going to have to fix it somehow, but I don't know how I'm going to fix it. So, yeah, this is not going to be fun. I want to cry right now, but what's the point? There's literally no point to cry. So I'll just get to a Home Depot, and maybe one of their staff will help me. I don't know. I don't know. I have to somehow get this thing back together, and it's in the rain. Like, it is pouring rain. So, yeah, it's not good. I hope it makes it okay, Home Depot. This has been one hell of a day. The Home Depot that was supposed to be just 15 minutes away? Yeah, it turned out to be 45. But that's a story for part 2. Join me to see how I get the camper roof back together, make it all the way to Annapolis, and spend one of the most epic weeks in a house with some of the top sailing YouTubers I could have hoped for. Because sometimes the adventure is just getting there, and trust me, it was worth every mile. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe. Have a great week.